Okay, so this is the build, and no jumping into the gallery this time because I actually made these Sims. I know, shock. But this was part of my Let's Paint Myshuno Rainbow collab that I did. And me and a friend, Rainbow Cat Mum, she's also on Twitch and YouTube, are going to be hosting monthly collabs, basically redoing all the worlds. And we are going to redo Myshuno towards the end. We're going to give it some time because we've literally just done it. We're going to be doing all the worlds between us, and it's not going to be LGBT themed or anything. It's just going to be like the vibe of that world. And then we're going to try and pair the worlds with the seasons. So we've got several worlds to go through, so we're going to be doing this for quite some time. If you would be interested in taking part in either the cast or the build mode or both, I will leave a link to the Discord where that is taking place for the foreseeable future, so you can go and check that out. I will also put up YouTube and social posts about what world we're doing, the theme, the brief, anything like that as well, to keep you all updated. But enough yammering, let's actually look at this family. Right, so I'm actually not going to do this in tab mode because I've completely forgotten the names because I did this at like stupid o'clock in the morning. So this is Beth Ann, it's non-binary, they use they them pronouns, and their girlfriend is Lacey Roberts. They are teenagers. And then Beth Ann's parents, we have Fabrice Murphy, who's very out there, very extra. And then we have Jonathan Murphy, who is very prim, proper, suits only. That's it. And they are a family and they live in the private quarters of this home. Now this home is a halfway house for anybody that might be struggling, specifically aimed at the LGBT. And so we have 4 more Sims that are living in the upstairs residential apartments. So we have Rowan Davidson. He is trans and he is a single father of this little cutie, Kira Davidson. So they stay in one of the rooms. And then we have 2 rooms taken up by brother and sister. I think they're twins. We have Madison Parker, who is deaf, and we have Tyler Parker. So that's it for the Sims. Now I'm praying turning the time on isn't going to bombard me with pop-ups, but we will see. I also need to turn autonomy back on because I had to turn it off to get that still. Okay, so both of these front doors come through to the same place. It's not important. So coming inside, we have lots of spaces for like family pictures and stuff, but I obviously haven't filled them in yet because I haven't really played with this family at all. So we have this entrance hall. It doesn't really matter what door you come through, they both work just the same. But coming through this way, and we have a playroom that anybody can use. We have infant stuff, we have stuff for bigger kids. I tried to give like a good range of things. It's just like a playroom. And then we have a full bathroom in here. And then coming through this way with everybody else apparently. Okay, I haven't locked my doors properly, that shouldn't be possible. Okay, now I've got all that sorted. We come through and we have this nice dining space, a large kitchen on this wall, and then a living space down this end. And then in this door we have sort of like a pantry and laundry area. And then coming out here we have a more, so it is communal because the kid swings in here because you couldn't really put that on the roof. But it is sort of like a more quiet area for the main family. Naturally they've used the grill already. And there is a little splash pad and a little place to relax out here if you would like to, with a gate that the halfway house tenants can use if they would like to come in here so they don't have to traipse through the main house. And then coming through here, this is sort of like a formal sitting area, but this is open to the halfway house as well. They can come in here if they would like to, if they have like an important meeting or something that, you know, whatever, they could just come in here and hang out, or they could have meetings or whatever, and that works out as a really nice space for that. And then coming up the stairs, I guess technically they could have used this area too, but this feels more of a walkway rather than a private to the side room where, you know, you could go and sit and be quiet. So you just have bookcases on both sides, and then this is both the bedrooms. So this is the dad's bedroom in here, and we have yoga and a bed area with a nice little seating area with the woohoo game, and then we have the pride flags and the bookcase area as well. And then in here we have a nice standard sort of dressing room area, nothing particularly fancy, but it gets the job done. And then in here we have a sizable bathroom, so we have the double sinks and toilet, and then in here we have sort of a wet room space with a shower and a bathtub. So then coming through into the other bedroom, we have the girls' bedroom, and it is the same setup for the bathroom, just with burgundy dressing gowns instead. And then we have this whole bed situation. I tried to make it like really cozy and a good mix between their two styles, with like the more gothic aesthetic and then the sort of retro Barbie aesthetic as well. And I think I did a good job on that. And then in here we have a more sort of cluttered dressing room, but it is still kind of cute. So we've got some blankets and some sort of extra wardrobe space, jewelry everywhere and makeup and stuff. And then if we continue up the stairs, both these staircases go to the same place. Oh, we've hit fast territory. Cool. We have this karaoke space, and we've got bookshelves. Also got like a little bar moment. Have a nice little hangout spot around here. Roof access through that door. And then coming down here, we have the other stairs access, depending on like what room you want to go to or whatever. So in here, all these rooms are majority the same, but we have a little kitchenette moment, mini fridge and oven thing, and then bathroom. They're all standard, they're all the same, they're all self-contained, so washer, dryer, bath, sink, toilet, so they can like fully look after themselves. Thinking about it, the only thing they don't have is a hamper or a bin. I will fix that. And then we have a little desk space and a bed and a little TV corner. So then coming this way, we have basically the same room, but this one, because it's a little bit bigger, I put baby stuff in here as well, so it works just the same. And I thought it was sweet to get that sort of gameplay narrative in here as well. And then finally, this room just looks the same as all the others, it's just reversed. And yeah, so going through this door to the roof access, there's nothing particularly special. I didn't really know what to put there, so I just put puff. We go up way too fast, but okay. And then out here onto the roof, apparently it's nighttime. We have some telescopes around the place. We have this outdoor seating up here. We have a bubble blower. And then we also have this rooftop grill and some clutter items, some chairs dotted around the place, and very unevenly lighted picnic bench because they are the same. I guess because one's got a lantern on and one doesn't. And then another telescope up here. But imagine being up here and just like, this is your view. Like, especially this side, like over the harbour with the bridge right there with the lights. Wish it wasn't blurry, but you know, it is. Yeah, I don't know, this came out really cool. Oh yeah, and these trees have lights on them as well, which is amazing. So while I got bored waiting for daytime, I just cluttered up the laundry a bit because I came in here and was like, oh, that's a bit blank. I obviously forgot to do that. So we just have a few things around here right now. So it's a bit more like a butler's pantry combined laundry, which I do think is a bit better. And let's continue to wait for daytime. I was going to say I enjoyed this one. I did enjoy this one, but floor planning it was a nightmare. I am not very good at bigger homes because they're not my reality. I don't know what I'm doing with them. So this was, while it looks stunning and I am so happy with how it turned out, this was not my forte at all, and I really didn't know what I was doing. But I just think it's so aesthetic. It is based off of a fire station museum in New York. So the whole idea is that it was a firehouse that's been converted, and I just I did add the fire escape on the side, and I love it. It is one of my better builds, I do think. If I say so myself. If I pat my own bag. If you agree with me and you like this too, then please like the video, share it if you have anybody that would care, and maybe drop me a subscribe if this build earned it. Who knows, maybe it did. And I also have loads of other videos, both on more paranormal stuff in the real world and debunking and that sort of thing, and then also I have tons of Sims builds if that's more your speed. If there's anything in particular you would like to see, please let me know down in the comments, or please email me or message me on social media. All my contact information is in my description box. But with that, I will leave you to the rest of your day. I hope it's a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye!